Hey y'all, it's your girl Destiny, and I am back with another video, and today we're going to be getting a little deep. We're going to be talking about my journey with anxiety, and I really want to tell you guys about how beginning to pursue my purpose, my true purpose, really helped me reduce my anxiety and my stress. So about a year ago, I started having really severe panic attacks, and I started feeling sensations of anxiety like every single day. It was getting to the point where it was exhausting. Having anxiety and having panic attacks, it was exhausting to me. Like, I would cry so hard and just be like, oh, I'm so tired of this. Like, I'm so tired of having this anxiety. I wish that I could just feel normal. Like, these are the feelings that I had in my mind. I wish I could just feel normal. And it was honestly very stressful, and it was like a very sad time of my life. It was even pushing me into depression. And I was literally at my breaking point. So why do I feel like my anxiety started? I feel like my anxiety started because my entire life was rooted in people-pleasing tendencies. I feel like my entire life was based on what other people wanted from me, what other people wanted me to do, what other people expected me to do, societal norms. Like, everything was about everybody else and nothing was about me and what I truly wanted to do. Everything was about my trauma. Everything was about my limiting beliefs. Everything was about everything else in the world besides myself. So this led me to overextending myself very often, saying yes to way too many things. This led me to doing a lot of things that I didn't genuinely want to do just so I can make other people happy. This led to me literally building an entire life that was just not for me. So there was one day I was driving around the corners of my apartment looking for a parking space because it was street sweeping, and you know me, baby is not trying to get no tickets. I'm not trying to get no tickets. It's like, as I'm driving around in my car, I was just thinking about my life in general. Like, I was thinking about my living situation. At the time, I don't think I had a job, so I was just thinking about my money situation. I was just thinking about everything in my life that wasn't what I expected it to be at that point. And then I ended up going into a college parking lot and just parking my car there and just breaking down crying, like boohoo crying, ugly crying. And I literally started to like voice record myself as like a journaling method at that time, because like I just had so much stuff going on in my head that I needed to get it out. And when you're trying to understand yourself, I really feel like journaling or voice recording or whatever is a really good way to kind of analyze yourself, or not even analyze yourself, but to try to get to know yourself, try to understand your thoughts, and just, you know, get some stuff out. And so as I'm crying, I started asking myself all the right questions. Like, how did I get here? Why did I do this? Like, what was the true reason behind that? Like, I started getting deep into the nitty gritty. Like, I'm like talking to myself. Granted, I also feel like this was God talking through me, kind of asking me a lot of the stuff that I knew the answer to, but was buried deep inside because I didn't really want to deal with the fact or accept the fact that I wasn't really living the life or building the life that I truly wanted. And the life-changing realization that I came to was that every major life decision that I've ever made was not based on what does Destiny want? What does Destiny want to do? It was always based on some exterior factor or somebody else's feelings or somebody else's wants. And so I ended up with a life that just didn't align with my true values. Like, down to the career path that I was on, which was finance. I made that career choice, which was like real estate and finance based. I came to that career choice because I wanted to be in a career that made some money. When I know deep down inside, I'm a very creative person, and I kind of wanted to do something a little more creative, maybe even art, like maybe even drawing or fashion design or whatever. Like, if I were to follow my wildest dreams, it would be to do something more creative. But here I was, you know, chasing these jobs where I'm going to be sitting in a cubicle all day and working these jobs that literally suck the life out of me and stress me out. Even the choice that I made to go to college. I didn't have a dream college. I didn't have a dream major or anything of that nature. I just went to college because all of my counselors, my parents and my aunts and my uncles were telling me that that was the next step, and that's like the biggest and the best thing that I could do for myself is go to college. So I went to college, and I chose a college for all the wrong reasons because it had nothing to do with what I wanted to major in. You know, it had nothing to do with, well, what city do I want to live in? I literally just chose a good college and I went. There wasn't even that much thought into it. I was overthinking I was overthinking all of my relationships, from my friendships to my romantic relationship with my boyfriend that I currently have, from my relationships with my family. I was overthinking all of it, and I was overextending myself and putting a lot of their feelings before my own, letting a lot of stuff slide and just holding a lot of stuff in. It eventually came to a point where I got burnt out. Fizzled out, and I realized that. But at the time, because I was still stuck in my people-pleasing tendencies, I felt like there was really nothing that I could do about it. So I just continued on that way. Sure enough, I started getting small sensations of anxiety, whether it was overthinking a relationship, or, overthinking about money, or overthinking about how my family feels, or, overthinking about my career and my career choice. I just started overthinking so many things. But mainly the reason why I'm overthinking is because I'm trying to rationalize, or I'm trying to bury deep inside why I'm not living a life that I truly want to live. I'm trying to rationalize why I'm letting people get away with XYZ. I'm trying to rationalize why I can't set boundaries. I'm trying to rationalize why I keep overextending myself. I'm just trying to rationalize everything I'm doing that I don't truly want to be doing. So now I'm overthinking, and I'm feeling anxious, and I'm feeling anxiety, and I'm feeling like the world is just crashing down on me. And over time, the anxiety just began to get more and more intense. So after I came to that realization, when I was in my car, I began to think to myself about what I really wanted to do, what I truly wanted to do, what my natural gifts are, what makes me feel most alive. Like, I started thinking about me. I started thinking about myself. And granted, this was not like, overnight thing, like, oh, one day I'm a people pleaser and the next day I'm completely not. No, it wasn't like that, because I will say my anxiety continued maybe all the way up until about 3 or 4 months ago. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time that I have been dealing with panic attacks and anxiety. And it took a long time. And so it took me a long time to get out of my people-pleasing tendencies. And it took me a long time to put myself first and to focus on, my mental health. But I did. That was a great starting point for me. I started to think about myself and think about what I truly want. And for a while, I kind of just sat on that information. I did all of this research about, like potential careers for me and, potential pathways that I can take. But for a while, I sat on this information. And because I wasn't working at the time, and I did have anxiety about money and, where my next paycheck was going to come from and all of that type of stuff, I did take a job, thinking like, okay, this is going to be right for me. This is going to be great for me. And of course, sometimes it just don't work out that way. So I took this job thinking that it was like the perfect next step for me. And while I like my job, the people that you work with can make or break a job. So I definitely feel like it wasn't the best environment for me to be in. And instead of helping my anxiety, it kind of just made my anxiety worse. So as I'm sitting on this information and taking another job and I'm doing all of this stuff, I realized that I still wasn't doing enough. Like, it just still wasn't enough. Like, I still wasn't putting me first enough. I still wasn't worrying about my needs and my wants enough. Like, I was still deeply rooted into my people-pleasing tendencies. And so I had to really start thinking about my limiting beliefs and challenging my limiting beliefs. And I feel like this was like such a pivotal moment in my journey of dealing with anxiety, because the beliefs that we have control our actions, control our emotions. It controls our way of being, what we believe. And so I had a lot of negative limiting beliefs that just kept me feeling like my value is based on what I can produce, or my value is based on what I can do for other people. My value is based on, being able to make people proud. That's where my values were. Like, that's what my beliefs were. My beliefs were that I had to be doing something for people to value me. I had to be giving them something. I had to be producing something for them. I had to be making them proud in some way. I had to be making a certain amount of money. I have to be doing X, Y, and Z in order to be valued by anybody in this world. So I had to challenge those beliefs. I had to write down all of my negative and limiting beliefs and write another belief to combat every single last one of them. So an example would be, In order for people to value me, I have to be producing something for them. And I changed it to my presence and my energy brings value. That's it. Because me just being here, that brings value. I don't have to be doing anything for anybody. I don't have to make anybody proud. I don't have to live up to anybody else's expectations. I had to make myself believe that. And then as I'm doing this for every single belief, and grant you, it's like over 20 of them. I had to do that for every single belief, is find another belief to replace that one. And I would write them down every single day. I would write the new beliefs down every single day. And this probably went on for like 3 months, for like months. I'm just doing this every single day. And after I started doing that, things really started to change. Like I feel like my beliefs were really starting to change after that repetition and arching it into my mind. But not only that, I was starting to find proof in that. I would literally just like stop doing stuff. I would just stop doing stuff for people. And I know that sounds kind of like mean or whatever, but like I just had to show myself that like if I don't want to do something, I don't want to do it, and it doesn't have to affect my relationships or my friendships or whatever. So I started setting boundaries, and I stopped doing stuff that I didn't want to do. If I genuinely didn't want to do something, I would just say no. And it was hard. Like this is not, I'm not saying that this is a walk in the park. It was hard, but that's what I just had to do. And I think that saying no had become like one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. And after I was able to do that, after I was able to set those boundaries, after I was able to kind of like drown out everything that I was doing for everybody else, I was able to get more in tune with myself and really, really pursue what I wanted and what God wanted for me. And this is when, during this time was also when I was going through my spiritual journey, or when I started my spiritual journey, and I was starting to get closer to God, and I was asking God what my purpose is, and I'm asking God what He wants me to do, because evidently everything that I was doing was wrong. Okay, everything I was doing was wrong, and it was not working out. And so I wanted my Creator to tell me, what did you create me for? And I feel like over time, He definitely started giving me my answers. And I actually have a video going way deeper into detail about, my journey with God and how He has been helping me, find my purpose. So if you want to know more about that, I would definitely recommend going and watching that video. So yes, God has started to help me, find my purpose and pursue my purpose. And I finally decided to start being obedient. And one thing about anxiety is that once you take action on something, it tends to reduce naturally. So like for instance, when I would start having a panic attack, the only thing that I could do to, kind of reduce the panic and to relieve myself of that panic attack is get up and go on a walk. It's to take action. It's to do something actionable. So once I kind of realized that, I was just like, okay, if I take more action, I won't be overthinking so much. If I take more action on what I really want to do, then I won't be anxious about that either. Action had became like the remedy to my anxiety. And so I had a few things that I wanted to do, but I wasn't taking action on them because I was too busy doing everything for everybody else. I wanted to move into a new apartment. I wanted to be more satisfied and be more fulfilled at my job and in my professional work. I wanted to set better boundaries with my family and with my friends, and to make sure that my emotional and mental capacity was never drained. And honestly, I wanted to take better care of myself. Like I wanted to put more effort into me, more energy into me. I wanted to do it, but I was just too busy. I wanted to do all of these things, but I was just too busy throwing it into everybody else. So let's look back at that list. I have moved. I have set boundaries with my family, with my friends, and I will let them know when I don't have the mental capacity. And actually, sometimes they will ask me if I have the mental capacity to hear something heavy, or they just won't come with the heavy stuff at all. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Granted, I'm open. I just need them to ensure that I can handle that at that moment. I won't say more fulfilled, but I am definitely more pleased at my job, more comfortable, and I feel like I have spoken up for myself more at work, which has definitely given me the confidence to walk in that office with my head held high and to kind of, be myself and be more comfortable in that environment. I've also started putting more energy and effort into myself and what I truly want to do for myself. This YouTube channel is actually a perfect example of that. I have really started to find the time to put the energy and the effort into myself. I am also now in therapy, and I see a therapist every 2 weeks, and everything is going great with her. And she has also been helping me and talking to me about setting my boundaries, and I think that it has been a tremendous help to me. And if I'm being completely honest, I literally have not had like a full-blown panic attack in about three months. So I think that things are going much more successfully than they were before. And I will say that if you struggle with anxiety, you need to figure out what beliefs are kind of holding you back. You need to figure out the root cause. You need to figure out, what you really want. You need to figure out what beliefs are causing you to be anxious about anything. So yeah, y'all, we are getting better with the anxiety. We are making progress. And I am super excited to share this story because I know that there are so many people in this fast-paced world that we are living in today that are struggling with anxiety and depression. And I was just sharing my story to let you guys know that there is a way out, that it will get better, that you will get out of it. And I hope that you start putting yourself first, that you start figuring out exactly what you want out of life, and that you start taking action on it so that you can stop overthinking, so that you can stop spending your time on doing things that you don't really want to do, so that you can start enjoying life and just feeling good again. All right, y'all, if you guys have any tips about how you deal with your anxiety or how you alleviate panic attacks or anything of that nature, please let us know down in the comments. Please let me know, because while I haven't had one in months, and while I've been doing great with my anxiety, it is an ongoing process. It is a journey, and I definitely feel like everybody in the world will experience anxiety at some point in their life. And it's something that, it may go away and it may come back. So I need all of the tips that I can get. And if anybody is watching this video, I would really love for them to get any tips from anybody else, because I'm only one person and this is just my experience. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.